Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haslina binti Kalang with metric number 059516, and I will be presenting the part B, consists of the topic crime against humanity. So what are crimes against humanity? Civilians who are the target of a huge assault are deemed to be victims of crime against humanity, regardless of the country in which they live. A number of atrocities, including homicide, torture, sexual assault, enslavement, persecution, and disappearance by coercion, are included in this category. Although it is more common for states to commit crimes against humanity as part of their policies, armed groups or paramilitary organizations that are not states are also capable of committing these atrocities. Crimes against humanity, in contrast to war crimes, can be committed even when there is peace in the world. Additionally, in contrast to genocide, crimes against humanity are not necessarily committed against a specific national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So next is the crime against humanity under the international law. In the Nuremberg Charter of 1945, which was signed at the end of the Second World War, crimes against humanity were defined in a way that is different from how they are defined now. This was the first time that they were mentioned in a treaty after the war. Since the 1990s, numerous international treaties such as the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court and the Statutes of the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda and the former Yugoslavia, 1993, have codified crimes against humanity. Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court and Statutes of the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda and the former Yugoslavia. The Rome Statute contains the most up-to-date and exhaustive list of specific offences that may qualify as crimes against humanity. This list may be found in Article 13 of the Rome Statute. In contrast to other violations of human rights, such as those committed by states, individual criminal accountability rather than state responsibility applies to war crimes. This suggests that individuals may face legal action and be held legally accountable for this offense if they are found to be responsible for them. Apartheid crime and other inhuman acts of similar nature that intentionally cause great suffering or serious harm to the body or to mental or physical health are prohibited. Likewise, murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation, or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment, torture, sexual violence, persecution against an identifiable group, forced disappearance of individuals, and other acts of this nature are also prohibited. It is everyone's duty to take action in a way that will not only assist the citizens whose dignity have been violated, but will also punish the people who have perpetrated the crimes. Politicians from a wide range of countries have participated in the training, and some of them have even brought it with them when they move to other countries. The vast majority of them are autocrats who have little regard for the viewpoints of others. They are willing to do anything to maintain their jobs, which ensures that they won't be brought to justice because, for the most part, the Constitution shields those in those positions from being prosecuted. The International Criminal Court in The Hague is able to assist in bringing justice to countries, even when domestic courts and politicians are unwilling to establish transitional justice institutions like the Truth and Justice Reconciliation Commission. On the other hand, both The Hague and the Transitional Justice Group have come under fire for the way in which they conduct themselves and the way in which they deal with cases, especially those involving crimes against humanity. Next. Next is the world and crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity have been committed in the past and continue to be committed, particularly in countries located in Africa. To name just a few examples, there was a genocide in Rwanda, in addition to trouble in Darfur, South Africa, and Sierra Leone, amongst other places. A small number of more European nations were also affected, and the repercussions of the events are still being felt to this day. The bulk of cases of crimes against humanity have, in the opinion of the international community, received insufficient attention. The vast majority of those who are responsible for crimes against humanity are never held accountable for their awful deeds. After a crime has been committed, there is a reluctance on the part of the world to investigate what happened and to press criminal charges against those who were responsible for it because the world's highest objective is to prevent more exploitation or murders. Present has been no action taken in the form of investigation to assist the folk who were there in issuing a warning to others of who may be contemplating things that are like putting an end to the cruel behavior is morally a band-aid solution, and crimes against humanity have a tendency to flare up against at the most inconvenient times. It is unacceptable to rely on the internal judicial system to bring justice for people who lost loved ones as a result of criminal activity because in most cases the political leaders who are involved in the justice system plan these events and will likely create legislation that will benefit them. It is the collective responsibility of the international community to provide an appropriate response to atrocities committed against humanity and to work toward eliminating the possibility of similar occurrence occurring in the future. It is also the responsibility of the national community to eliminate the possibility of such atrocities occurring. It is vital that appropriate policy be adopted that will assist in the investigation and prosecution of persons who commit crimes against humanity. These policies will assist in the investigation and prosecution of individuals who commit crimes against humanity. Because of this, we will be able to respond to the issue in a manner that is both more efficient and effective. It is imperative that those in position of authority within the government have access to an adequate amount of information in order to ensure that the laws they draw accurately represent the gravity of the issue that is being addressed. The policies that have been formed are of a transnational nature and their effects will be felt in every single nation on the planet. The governments of the world ought to be under an obligation to respond to crimes committed against humanity and to take severe retribution against those who violate the rights of the people under their jurisdiction. Within the context of this procedure, non-governmental organizations, most notably the United Nations, play an important function. It is also the responsibility of the international community to establish organizations that will aid in the investigation and prosecution of those who were accused of committing crimes against humanity. These organizations should be created as soon as possible and should be able to provide with financial support so that they can maintain the greatest possible standard in their work. Because this is the only option to put an immediate end to the barbaric practices, every nation on earth should be willing to take part in the activities and should never give up. To conclude, the commission of crimes against humanity is all too widespread in today's world, and it is imperative that some form of response be developed. It is the obligation of the global community to adequately respond to crimes against humanity, not only to assist in putting an end to the current atrocities, but also to help prevent similar atrocities in the future. The international community ought to devise efficient policies that can contribute to the effort of addressing the crisis. When it comes to matters involving crimes against humanity, the International Criminal Court is known for being quite impartial. Regrettably, the procedure takes a significant amount of time and only a small number of people end up being prosecuted. This hold-up is the result of the numerous cases already pending in the courts, each of which needs to be dealt with before proceeding with the prosecution of a new case. On the other side, a tribunal court might pursue a lot of different people, but it's probably going to be prejudiced. When it comes to dealing with crimes against humanity, the International Criminal Court will in the future be able to do so more effectively overall, only if they are not established with the goal of protecting those responsible for the wrongdoings. Will transitional justice organizations such as Truth and Reconciliation Commission be able to reduce the amount of pain experienced? The path to recovery will be paved with much more success if those responsible for the harm are brought to justice. It is challenging, however, because the goals of defamation almost invariably involve doing wrong by those who have suffered, and these individuals are the primary factor in the therapeutic process. If the rights of the perpetrator are being violated and the world community has the ability to go to court to stop the violations, then the international community should step in. So that's all from me. Thank you.